Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you're doing well this morning. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. It's so good to see every single one of you, and I'm glad that you're having a good weekend, or you had a good weekend. I hope you had a good weekend. God, I had a great weekend. I had a great week last week. Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, JW. And good morning, Brenda. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Most definitely. Sorry if my voice is a little bit off. I'm trying to warm up my throat with a little bit of coffee here. Good stuff. Mm, Nothing like having some good coffee in the mornings, because it's wonderful. Good morning, JW. Yes, it is. It is Monday morning, and We've got some all kinds of news, like crazy stuff going on. Stuff that I missed out on, stuff that I get to talk about. Ah, so wonderful. And what is that? Oh, there we go. That'll be a fun one. And I was just looking at a couple of things because I'm like, this is so hilarious. Just watching the Marie on Trump is hilarious. But we do have some other news. We do have some other news. This has nothing to do with the U.S. Coffee is good unless you want to drink something tasty. You don't like coffee? Too better. Oh, excellent. That's a good thing. Doesn't mean one way or another. Good morning, Amos girl. Good morning, Debbie Morin. It's wonderful to see all of you fine folks this morning. And we've got an interesting one. This is the this is the Iranian president, foreign minister, and others. They were found unalived in a helicopter crash site. Dubai, Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, the country's foreign minister, and several other officials were found unalive on Monday, hours after their helicopter crashed in a foggy, mountainous region of the country's northwest. State media reported the crash comes as the Middle East remains unsettled. That has nothing to do with this. During which Rossi, who was 63, under the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, launched an unprecedented drone and missile attack on Israel just last month. Khamenei, whatever, announced Monday that Iran's first president, Mohammed Mokbar, would serve as the country's acting president until elections are held. During Raisi's term in office, Iran enriched uranium closer than ever to weapons-grade level, further escalating tensions with the West as Tehran also supplied bomb-carrying drones to Russia for its war in Ukraine and armed militia groups across the region. Meanwhile, Iran has faced years of mass protests against its Shiite theocracy over the ailing economy and women's rights, making the moment that much more sensitive for Tehran and the future of the country. Among the ones that were not alive was Iranian Foreign Minister, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, 60. The helicopter also carried the governor for East Iran's province. I'm not going to try to pronounce some of these names. A senior clerk from Tabriz, 3 crew members, and a Revolutionary Guard official, the state-run IRNA news agency reported. It said that the crash had killed 8 people in all, including 3 crew members aboard the Bell helicopter, which Iran purchased in early 2000s. Aircraft in Iran face a shortage of parts, often flying without safety checks against the backdrop of Western sanctions. Because of that, Foreign Minister, one of the main culprits of yesterday's tragedy is the United States, which embargoed the site. What does this? No. So why? Good morning, Volstorm. Good to see you. Like Mad Max, but instead of gasoline, they fight for coffee. Love it. Oh my gosh. What is coffee? Coffee is life. Absolutely. Absolutely. So So automatically this goes to why are they blaming the U.S. on this, which embargoed the sale of aircraft and aviation parts to Iran and does not allow people to. Okay, U.S. crimes against Iranian people because you don't do safety checks on helicopters. That's my fault, huh? Go f yourself. The U.S. is yet to come up publicly on Rossi's death. Uh-huh. All right. Early Monday morning, Turkish authorities released what they described as a drone footage showing what appeared to be a fire. Blah, blah, blah. Condolences started pouring in from neighbors and allies. Really? Uh-huh. Stands with Iran, blah, blah. I mean, I hate that this guy had to be removed. That God reached out his hand and snatched him from the jaws of fate. That's what it was. Good morning, Cindy. It's so good to see you. So good to see you. All right, let's see if they tell about the parties that people were celebrating after that happened. Rossi just gives a little bit of information about Rossi. In March, United Nations investigative panel found that Iran was responsible for the physical violence that led to Amini's death. Okay. I don't see where it talks about the people in Iran celebrating over this. Like the day that it was announced, it was so crazy because I was like, why aren't they? Huh? I'm not seeing it here because it was. I was seeing that they were celebrating about this. They were. So okay. From what I gather, they were celebrating there in Iran. The people were. Crazy as all get out. Crazy as all get out. But it looks like they did find the bodies. It's weird, but they said that there were people that responded and let them know where they were at. So crazy enough. Anyhow, well, I guess they don't want to report on it. Maybe I better not say anything. No. Yeah, it just basically talks about how much they hated Israel. Wonderful. Isn't that crazy? Not as crazy as this guy right here, though. Argentina president begins unusual visit to Spain, snubbing officials and courting far right. Oh, but what do they mean by that whenever they say the far right? Even before kicking off a 3-day visit to Madrid on Friday, Argentina's libertarian president, Javier Milei, I'm not even going to try to say it, just Javier, stirred controversy, accusing the socialist government of bringing poverty and death to Spain and weighing in on corrupt allegations against the prime minister's wife. In such circumstances, a typical visit head of state may strive to mend fences with diplomacy. Oh no, not Javier. That brash economist has no plans to meet Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez during his 3 days in the Spanish capital, nor the Spanish king, nor any other government official. Instead, he'll attend the Far Right Summit Sunday, hosted by Sanchez's fierce political opponent, the Vox Party. The unorthodox visit was business as usual for Javier, darling for the fight. The global, A darling for the global far right. He's bonded with billionaire tech Elon Musk and praised Donald Trump. What does that have to do with who he associates with, other than maybe he doesn't want to be seen as associating with these people that have destroyed the economy of the country? Earlier this year, on a trip to the U.S., well, Javier, he steered clear of the White House. Wonder why he stood clear of the White House. Why would he stay clear of the White House? Well, you guys don't like him anyway. You've been very much against him, so what purpose does he have to go anywhere near you? Hey, Funston, how's it going? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good morning, Jariah. Thank you for dropping the like. I appreciate it. Good morning, Captain Kern, Ammo's Girl, Tammy Bugard. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Who done it? Well, we won't talk about it. I think that they want to blame the U.S. on the helicopter crash, which we know it wasn't. Yeah. Javier, he steered clear of the White House, took stage at the Conservative Political Action Conference, or CPAC, where he rallied against the deletion of children and socialism, and shared a bear hug with Trump. Isn't that weird? Javier presented his 2022 book, The Way of the Libertarian, in Madrid Friday at a literary event organized by La Razón. I think that's right. A conservative Spanish newspaper. Well, he's just, hello, Max. Max got get warning message from U.S. State Department today. Must be number one most important priority for U.S. government. U.S. government message. Security alert. Worldwide caution. May 20, 2024. Location. Worldwide. Says, event. Due to potential for terror attack, demonstrations, or violent actions against U.S. citizens and interests, the Department of State advises U.S. citizens overseas exercise increased caution. The Department of State is aware of increased potential for foreign organization, inspire violence by the queer persons and events, and advises U.S. citizens overseas to exercise extreme caution. U.S. citizens should stay alert on locations frequented by tourists, including pride celebrations and venues frequented by the gay peoples. End of stupid message. Thank you, Max. Appreciate it. Tammy, admit nothing. Not sure what you're talking about, but it sounds like a plan anyway. Well, we should know. We'll get into how stupid it's gotten. Oh my gosh. So, what the book withdrawn from circulation in Spain? I wonder why. Because the back flap biography erroneously said that he had earned a doctorate. Well, he didn't. Well, June is coming, Max Murrah. June is coming. Thank you for the climate change forecast. I love it. So, in politics, from eccentric TV personality to national lawmaker, and outlines his radical free market economy ideas. They're so radical. The AP thinks they're radical. Free market is a radical idea. The cool part about free market enterprise, it's neither left nor right. It's just the way that it works. Oh, I love these people. It's so great. To thunderous applause, Javier condemns socialism as an intellectual fraud and a whore on human terms. Not a prostitute, but a whore. A whore. The good thing is the spotlight is shining on us everywhere, and we're making the Reds uncomfortable all over the world. Now, see, they say leftists, but that's not what he said. See, they put it in parentheses, but that's not what he said. He's talking about the socialist, communist people of the world are getting put on notice. And he's happy to put them on notice. Good thing I read Max's message. My eyes are still blurry. Happy Victoria Day in Canada. Well, welcome, Star Z. He took the opportunity to promote the results of his harsh austerity campaign in Argentina. How is it harsh if it declined monthly inflation in April, though making no mention of Buenos Aires subway fares that more than tripled overnight? Because fares tripling overnight does not mean that the inflation hasn't gone down. Just because the fares went up in one part of the world, that it's correlation is not causation, and causation is not correlation. Repeating a campaign pledge to eliminate Argentina's central bank without giving further details, Javier promised to make Argentina the country with the most economic freedom in the world. Now, isn't that a glorious thought, to imagine that you eliminate the central bank? Imagine if they eliminated the central bank in the U.S. or got rid of the Fed. Imagine if all of your money that is held by the central banks went away. Just imagine if that was gone. Well, there was a guy that, or a group that imagined that. That was during the housing crash in 2008. That little group put together, or that person known as Satoshi Nakamoto, had the idea that because of this, we should get rid of central banking. Should be a different way of doing it, where you own what you own. The banks have no control over it. They can't loan out your money and inflate the dollar. Actually came up with an idea of making it deflationary. Weird how that works. At the event, Javier gave a huge hug to his ally, Santiago Abascal, the leader of the hard right. Like, we're talking hard, like hard right, or we talking, they're done with being told what to do by commies. I don't know. I wonder what the answer is to that one. The leader of the hard right Vox party and the only politician with whom Javier has actual plans to meet in Madrid. The Vox Summit Sunday seeks to bring together figures from across Europe. And I'm going to leave out this right here, because they say this like it means something. Or how about it seeks to bring together like-minded figures from across Europe in a bid to rally the party's base ahead of the European parliamentary elections in June. Javier described his attendance as a moral imperative. He also has plans to meet Spanish business executives on Saturday. Wow. Tensions between Javier and Sanchez have simmered since the moment the Spanish Prime Minister declined to congratulate him on the Libertarian economist on his shock election victory last November. So Sanchez, this asshole up here, this guy right here that is all pissy because he says, I'm not meeting the Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez, crooked little shit that he is, says, I don't want to meet with him. I have no desire to meet with him. He can go F off to the furthest reaches of F offedness. And they're going, Well, he never gave him his kudos. Well, yeah, you don't want to congratulate the guy that came in and did wonderful on last November. He won an amazing victory. And now the prime minister doesn't want to deal with him. And he's just like, fine, see you, bye. You don't want to congratulate? Thought we could work together, but apparently that's not how it goes. Of course, hostility exploded earlier this month all over Sanchez's face. I mean, his ministers suggested that Javier had taken narcotics. The Argentine presidency responded with the unusually harsh official statement of accusing Sanchez of endangering the middle class with its socialist actions or policies that bring nothing but poverty and death. Well, and that was not all, because they only show what little bit that they want to show. Because here's the thing. The lengthy government statement also accuses Sanchez of having more important problems to deal with, such as corruption accusations against his wife. So they're saying that that's all that he said right here. But in the next sentence, it says lengthy government statement. No, there was a lot more that was said. Why don't we see what was said? They don't show what was said. Well, the AP doesn't want to show that. Why don't you have a link there, AP? That way you can fact check yourself on your bullshit. Because that's all you never do anyway. Stupid asses. Oh my gosh. I've got a really good one for you coming in. It's gonna be a blast. You ended your day with Shizzy and you're starting your day with Shizzy. Is that not awesome? Well, thank you, Tammy Begard. That's awesome. I love it. I have a story. I haven't watched it yet. Apologies. Oh, good morning. Hey, Yamaha. Just a trial run. Have some budgets to work out, but not bad for the first time. Dude, I am so hoping that you had some people that were there and hanging out with you. I was talking with MG for a little bit. We were tracking some storms that were going on in Oklahoma. So I hope that everybody came in and gave you some showed you some love. I hope they did. I just remembered I ended my day with Shizzy and start with Shizzy. Oh, that's so cool. All right, so of course the Israel-Hamas war is testing whether campuses are sacred places for speech and protest. Well, hey Beers, what is going on? Good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever. Berkeley, California. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution. Stephen Hawking on the Big Bang. Millions of students for civil rights and against the Vietnam War. They were provocative in their times. Products of an ideal that holds universities as sacrosanct spaces for debate, innovation, and even revolution. But Hamas's deadly October 7th attack on Israel and the resulting war are testing that perception, as anger over the brutal military campaign collides with election year politics and concerns about anti-Semitism in places where freedom of expression is supposed to rule. Where there is much desire to learn, there is necessity of be much arguing, much writing, many opinions for opinion, and good men is but knowledge in the making, wrote John Milton, an alumnus of Cambridge University, in his 1644 treatise against censorship and publishing. Give me the liberty to know, to utter, and to argue freely according to conscience above all liberties. Well, that's the problem, is these people will use those words against you. These kinds of folks that wish to do you harm and plan on doing harm take it beyond that, where they say we need to have freedom of speech. Well, you do have freedom of speech. What you don't have freedom to do is to attack people violently or destroy their schools or trespass or destroy a campus. You don't have that right. That's not freedom of speech. That's me saying, "Oh, let me give you, young child, freedom to come destroy my livelihood and come to destroy me." That is not that is not going to happen. Freedom of speech ends at the point where it turns to violence. And that's what you've been calling for, is violence. You've been calling for death on Israel. You've been calling for violence on anybody that associates with Israel. You've been calling for death on those countries. You've been calling for death on the United States. At what point does the US say, if you don't like it, we'll happily send you to the country that you are protesting for? Seriously. At what point do we just say, fine, you don't like the US, you're more than welcome, we'll send you over to Palestine. You don't like the US, we're more than happy to send you back to Venezuela. You don't like the US, we're more than happy to send you back to Mexico. You don't like the US, we're happy to send you off to Finland. We don't care. Whatever country you prefer, you think is so much better that you have to destroy the United States for, we're happy to send you there. Just ask. We'll be more than happy to send you there, because we are not turning your country, that was a shithole country in the first place, into our country. We don't want to go down that same road. Never have, never did. There was a reason why our founding fathers of this country had so much to say about not going that route. If you don't like it, piss off. Become an expat. Take your ass to France, Germany, Russia, wherever it is, Ukraine. I don't care. If you don't like it in the US here, then go fuck off. I say that with all humility. Where there is much, the lofty principle has clashed with the stark reality of war in the Middle East. Militants who crossed the border killed about 1,200 people and took 250 hostage. Now, see, that's the other thing they don't show you. They don't show the pictures of them going through a music festival and deleting a lot of the people there that were just minding their own business, having a wonderful day, and then they attacked them. They kidnapped, they killed, and they just moved on. According to the local health ministry, left millions on the edge of famine. Well, that is hummus. You did that to your own people. Hamas, you did this to your own people. See, there's a certain part of the F around, you know, that whole phrase, F around, find out, that this is the find out portion of that. That is the part of that. Administrators on some campuses have called in local police. You're lucky they haven't called in National Guard or asked the state to step in, because whenever the state steps in, that's whenever it's going to get nasty. Demanding that their schools divest from Israel. Well, that's their plan. That is the plan to get you. It has nothing to do with Israel. That's just the excuse that they use. Yamaha, at this point, YouTube doesn't send me any notifications. Well, that happens. From Columbia University to New York to University of California, Los Angeles, thousands of student and faculty have been arrested in the past month. Well, that's not very many. That's far not enough. Because they were called in, and they should never, if it's a teacher, if it's a student, they should lose their tenure as a teacher. They should be fired immediately. And if it's a student, those students that were asked to leave, that did not leave, that decided they were going to trespass, they should never be allowed to graduate. Take all of their money and use it to fix up the property that they destroyed. Now, I don't have a whole lot of love for some places of higher learning. I think they're garbage places. But I think that in this case right here, they should use that money to repair the school. as a message to, you're more than welcome to sit here and protest, but whenever we asked you to leave, we politely asked you to leave. We heard what you had to say. Now you're being disruptive. Now you're causing problems. See you, bye. Time for you to go. Time for you to run. Piss off, fly away, my young fools. That is the part where, the F around part really comes in handy. It really comes in handy. And I think that they're missing out on the find out part. Really missing out on it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It is hilarious. I was thinking about this the other day, how fast those protests went away. I mean, they were the reported protests. Now is the college graduation portion of it, where they're going to start showing up again as colleges are letting out their grads. But all those, after all that's said and done, do you think they're going to still stay there? What's going to happen next year? What is going to happen next year? Because I would say next year, they will see there's less students there. Won't that be amazing? It will be amazing to see that less students in their campuses that want to join in on their shenanigans. And hopefully they learned their lesson. I'm hoping that they learned the lesson. I doubt that they did learn their lesson, because they are idiots and they just don't know how to do it. They don't know how to behave. They don't know how to stop being dumbasses. And it happens. One has to think that this university, as a city-state in which its legal protection walls include campuses, grounds, buildings, structures, facilities, as legally protected, along with universities' rights to confer degrees. He added in an email calling the police and administrators did in Columbia, Dartmouth, UCLA, and other schools represent the breakdown of both rights and responsibilities within the campus as a chartered academic institution and community. Well, no, it is not. It is not state. It's completely different. The crackdowns are reviving memories of student-led protests during the American Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War, and the pro-democracy demonstrations in Beijing's Tiananmen Square. No, and no. These are completely different. See, those right there had to do with government control. That's not what these are about. If you look at all these protests, these have to do with government control. Now, it has nothing to do with people unable to control themselves, as you have found out. It is about people wanting to disrupt, cause problems, cause panic, bring attention to what's going on in another country that they don't even know anything about. They make these chants and they have no idea what they're chanting about. Now, if you want to say that it's activism, then sure. But the demonstrations have nothing to do with Tiananmen Square. They were protesting the same thing as the colleges are protesting, is you coming in and controlling how they operate business. In the 60s, and that AP would love to have this whenever the National Guard opened fire on unarmed students in Kent State. 4 million students went on strike, temporarily closing 900 colleges and universities. It was a defining moment for a nation sharply divided over the Vietnam War, in which more than 58,000 Americans were killed. Completely different situation. And AP would love to see them come in and open fire. The problem is I think that the U.S. government has learned from their mistakes. Won't do that. But you never know. AP always does like to push the bounds. The scale, the fierceness, short time frames since the attacks are irreconcilable demands of current competing protesters. Occasional violence has tested universities' leaders on how to respond. Any sort of violence, it should be handled with harsh punishment. Have them removed from the college, never to return. Any, you want to step foot on here, it is trespassing, because we're going to pack up all your shit out of your dorm room, whatever it might be. We're going to throw it in a box, and we're going to set that box out on the curb, and you're welcome to pick it up at your own leisure. Other than that, well, you just happen to be in jail. Well, we'll give you that. We'll wait until you get out of jail. Give us a call from outside the campus. We'll set your box of shit outside the campus. All your little, Palestinian flags. And you can go run to Palestine and go, join with them in your fight against oppression. Most major colleges and universities have their own police departments, but inviting and soliciting help from local police departments in riot gear and not only called on to disperse encampments but protect rival protesters from each other is a relatively new phenomenon. No, it's not. Did you guys miss the summer of love? Summer of 21? Did you guys miss that? Yeah. Trust between the university and significant parts of its utmost important constituency, its students. Well, the students are the ones that were being attacked. As a community that is capable of setting its own rules and dealing effectively with violations of these rules. A wave of pro-Palestinian protests on U.S. campuses took inspiration from demonstrations at Columbia that began on April 17th. No. As protesters set up their encampment, the university president, Miku Shafik, was called for questioning before Congress, where Republicans accused her of not doing enough to fight anti-Semitism on the school's Manhattan campus. The next day, university officials called on the New York City police, who arrested more than 100 protesters, among them the daughter of Ilhan Omar, who had questioned Shafik in Washington. Well, they didn't target her. She put herself out there. It's like, it's I agree it's wrong that you beat down a woman with a bugle stick, but if they're attacking you with a bugle stick, well, that's sort of the name of the game. You put yourself out there, expect the attacks to happen. Similar scenes played out across the country. University of Southern California canceled its main graduation ceremony, disallowing its students valedictorian, not valedictorian, who is Muslim, from giving her keynote speech. Why did they do that? So, University of California canceled its main graduation ceremony after disallowing its student to give a keynote speech. Why did they disallow her to give a keynote speech? Because she was telling them already, before she even got there, that she was going to pray for death to Israel. Okay? If somebody gets up and does this, this is not what the college wants to have happen. It reflects the entire college. It reflects on the entire college, that kind of bull stuff. And they go on with a whole bunch of more garbage of basically trying to incite people to go for this, to have that kind of attitude. And all I have to do is bring forward this right here is the correct way to protest. This is the proper way to protest. Everybody, except for a few, are facing forward.
All hope was lost. In our lives, in the lives of the nation, we have those Saturdays to bear witness, the day before glory.
Yeah, You notice what he's wearing. You notice what this guy is wearing. Yeah, he's got his little scarf on. Yeah, he's for the Palestine. But you know what? He turned around and said, "Not my president. I don't like him." And I saw quite a few reports on that of people not wanting to have anything to do with Biden. The parents were up and cheering and happy and proud and just loving every single bit of it. Like, this is wonderful, wonderful thing that Biden had to come in and speak to him. And this right here is one of the most beautiful ways of putting it. Right here. This is beautiful.
The biggest message I can give the American people tonight is that he's not going to get away with it. Letitia James is not going to get away with it. The Biden administration is not going to get away with it. There is a point, and I want to say something that different than I normally do. We have the order now. I'm free to speak. And let me just say, as somebody who sat there in the trial, Sean, and I'm so happy you invited me on to say this, they will not get away with it. We will come at them. We will come hard, and we will literally fight until the truth comes out. There was nothing wrong. President Trump has done nothing wrong. All he has done is won a campaign, and that is scaring them because they know when he goes back in November 2024, he is going to clean house. The biggest message I can.
No lies detected there. No lies detected there. That is something that he wants to put out there very clearly. Got them puppet strings. Hey, Ammo's girl. It does sound wired, though. I'm wishing you have some stores, but once they finally pass, we feel better. Oh, excellent. 5 p.m. Oh, you guys got some storms. You had a little thunderstorm last night, but expecting more this afternoon into the night. No fun. No fun. The storms are never a good thing to have. And as I'm reading down through all of these news messages, these articles, I'm going, where is the story that really means so much to these people? Like, where is the story that means so much to these people? The idiots of the world. The idiots of the world. You're just not seeing some of these stories at play. And that one particular story was written by multiple news articles. News stations covered this. And I saw something that was on, I believe it was British television, and they nixed it. They wiped this story out as quickly as possible. It disappeared. What was that story, you say? Well, what better story to have than this one? The former Facebook and Nike diversity manager gets 5 years in prison for $5 million in fraud. You say, whoa, that came out of nowhere. Like, that makes no sense at all. Why would a person be arrested, thrown away, and in trouble? Well, the good news is instead of listening to what Facebook and Nike have to say, why don't we read it right here from the United States Attorney's Office, Northern District of Georgia. Atlanta. Sonia Henius, a former office manager and executive assistant from a company in Alpharetta, has been sentenced to federal prison for embezzling more than $8.4 Well, that's one of them. But what about this one right here? Former diversity manager at Facebook and Nike sentenced to federal prison for $5 million fraud. Sorry, I pulled up the wrong story. Atlanta, Barbara Furlow Smiles, a former diversity manager at Facebook, and at Nike, has been sentenced for stealing more than $5 million based on an elaborate scheme involving fraudulent vendors, fictitious paperwork, and cash kickbacks. Furlow Smiles shamelessly violated her position of trust as a DEI or diversity, equity, inclusion executive at Facebook to steal millions from the company utilizing a scheme involving fraudulent vendors, fake invoices, and cash kickbacks, said U.S. Attorney Ryan K. Buchanan after being terminated from Facebook. She didn't stop there. She brazenly continued the fraud as a diversity, equity, inclusion leader at Nike, where she stole another six-figure sum from her diversity program. Her prison sentence reflects the consequences of her decision to orchestrate an intricate scheme to defraud two of her employers for personal profit. As lead strategist at Facebook, Furlow Smiles' employer put an extreme amount of trust in her, only to have that trust completely violated. Go figure, said Carrie Farley, special agent in charge of FBI Atlanta. After she was fired, she carelessly continued her fraudulent schemes at Nike, thinking she was untouchable. As a result, she not only threw away a lucrative career, but will serve time behind bars for her excessive greed. According to U.S. Attorney Buchanan, the charges and other information presented in court, Barbara Furlow Smiles served as lead strategist, global head of employee resource groups and diversity engagement at Facebook, now known as Meta Platforms Incorporated, doing business as Meta from January 2017 to September 2021. She led diversity, equity, and inclusion programs at Facebook and was responsible for developing and executing those initiatives, operations, and engagement programs. In her position, Furlow Smiles has access to company credit cards. She also has the authority to submit purchase requisitions and approve invoices for authorized vendors at Facebook. Though she used her position at Facebook to cheat and defraud the company, she caused Facebook to pay numerous individuals for goods and services that were never provided, and then directed those individuals to kick back the fraudulent proceeds to her, often in cash. Her scheme operated in two ways. Hey, Mad Englishman, good to see you. First, she linked PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App accounts to her Facebook credit cards. Then she used those accounts to pay friends, relatives, and other associates for goods and services that in truth were never provided to Facebook. To conceal the bogus charges, Furlow Smiles submitted fraudulent expense reports, claiming that her associates or their businesses had performed work on programs and events for Facebook, such as providing swag or marketing service, when in fact they had not done so. After these individuals received the payments from Facebook, they returned the vast majority of the money to Furlow Smiles. They paid these kickbacks in cash and through account transfers to others, including her husband. They paid the cash kickbacks in person and by Federal Express or mail, sometimes wrapping the cash in other items such as t-shirts. Furlow Smiles also directed associates to pay one another or others to whom she owed money to conceal her involvement in the scheme. Yes. Good morning from the UK. Interesting stuff today. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Good morning, Miami Spice. So good to see you, as always. Second, Furlow Smiles caused Facebook to onboard several vendors that were owned and operated by friends and associates who paid her those kickbacks. Furlow Smiles approved fraudulent invoices for these vendors. After Facebook paid the invoices, Furlow Smiles directed the vendors to return a portion of the money they received directly to her. She recruited numerous individuals to participate in the scheme. These individuals included friends, relatives, former interns from a prior job, nannies and babysitters, a hairstylist, and her university tutor. She also caused Facebook to make payments for her benefit to others who did not pay kickbacks. For example, Furlough Smiles caused Facebook to pay nearly $10,000 to an artist for specialty portraits and more than $18,000 to a preschool for tuition. After she was terminated from Facebook, she worked for Nike from 21 to 2023, serving as senior diversity, equity, and inclusion. In that position, she was responsible for supporting DEI initiatives, developing strategies, and hosting DEI events. She was primarily responsible for a Juneteenth event in New York during her time at Nike. As she had done at Facebook, little slutbag circumvented the vendor process to Nike to commit fraud. She was linked to her Nike corporate card and her PayPal and Venmo accounts, and then paid her associates with PayPal and Venmo, causing fraudulent charges to her Nike card. The associates kicked back portions of the payments to Furlough Smiles, who submitted fraudulent expense reports to Nike to cover her tracks. The expense reports falsely claimed that the payments were related to the Juneteenth event. In total, Furlough Smiles stole more than $4.9 million from Facebook and over $120,000 from Nike based on fictitious charges and fraudulent invoices. She used the money to fund a luxury lifestyle in California, Georgia, and Oregon. And at 38, from Marietta, Georgia, she was sentenced by the U.S. District Court Stephen J. Grimberg to 5 years, 3 months in prison, to be followed by a 3 years of supervised release. She was also ordered to pay restitution in the amount of $4,981,783.58 to Facebook and $121,054.50 to Nike, for a total of $5,102,838.08. Furlough Smiles was convicted of wire fraud on December 11th, 2023, after she pled, it's not supposed to be pleaded, it's supposed to be pled guilty. The case was investigated by the FBI. Assistant U.S. Attorney McLean and Benita Malloy prosecuted the case. Amazing, isn't it? Why? There are way more women crooks. It's just the men get more caught. Well, because we're always guilty. Men are always guilty of something. But let's now that you've heard the whole story, let's take a look at this lovely young lady here from Georgia. So they say, well, she was sentenced to this amount of time. Well, they got that right. And they keep saying who pleaded guilty. It's pled guilty to wire fraud in December of, they should say December 2023, stole more than 4.99, blah, blah, blah. After being terminated, she continued. Yes, that's what he said. Found luxury lifestyle. Yes, that's what the judge said. They asked for 6.5 years. He gave her a year off. She was lead strategist in global. Okay, they don't tell us anything new. It says in the sentencing memo that Meta determined that Furlough Smiles began the scheme within months of joining the company in 2017. While there, yep, all the same stuff that, okay, your guys aren't giving me any good news. I actually found more news on the Department of Justice's site. It's amazing how that works. But, you know, if you thought that was interesting, look, see this young lady? See this young lady? She's found happiness. And you ask, well, why did she find happiness? Because she moved her ass to Finland. Serious. She left with both independence and care, stayed with her. Her now husband is from Finland. In 2019, he had the opportunity to pursue his professional basketball career back home. Jumped at the chance to join him there. Today, he's still playing basketball, and she's an entrepreneur. Oh, look at her. Working as a content marketing specialist, she launched her own marketing firm, and she made about $21,000 the first quarter of that year. Oh, isn't that awesome? She feels so fulfilled by her life in Finland. Life is organized around being in nature. Okay, that's it? That's all you got for me? Okay, she likes to ski. Real sense of possibilities of coming outside of her comfort zone. Finns emphasize societal well-being. I hope she's having a wonderful time. I hope she never returns. Being from southern U.S., one of the biggest things that surprised me when I got there how quiet it was in malls and public spaces. I was struck by the lack of socializing, smiles, and small talk in public or with strangers. While it might seem chilly on the surface, I found that when you get to know Finns, they're warm and genuine. Finland is a place I lived after college in my first place, and my husband lived together. No, they just don't really care what you do. They have other things that are more concerned with. So she's happy living in Finland. More power to her. That's one less asshole we have in the United States. I say this because women use their sexiness to escape getting in trouble. Not necessarily. They can't do it whenever they get themselves in deep trouble. There's a hard time getting away from that. Coffee time. Coffee time. Yeah.
My balls are tingling. Yeah, my balls
I love those kids. Those kids are awesome. Dad, my balls are tingling. Well, speaking of tingling balls, Michael Cohen faces more grilling after Trump's hush money trial enters its final stretch. Tingling, not tickling. Jeez, no, tingling. See, he took a, if I'm not mistaken, it was like a Hellcat or something like that. Had his kids strapped in the front seat and revved it and got it going. And yeah, that'll send little shock waves through your body. You feel that big V8. You know, you think about it. It's just like, oh yeah, you know, this car's fast. Yeah, you get one of those big V8s that rumble. Oh yes. That will surprise you. Michael Cohen faces more grilling. More grilling, of course. Like, or how about just bringing out his bullshittedness? Of course, AP won't present it like that. The news media won't present it like that. But they say the trial enters its final stretch. Does it really? Donald Trump's trial is headed into one of his trials is headed into the final stretch, with prosecutors last and star witness back on the stand Monday for more questions as Trump's lawyers get their chance to put on a case. Well, this mock trial or bullshit trial or fake trial or kangaroo court, I guess is the best way to put it, will kick back off in Manhattan with more defense cross-examination of Michael Cohen, whose testimony last week directly tied Trump to the alleged hush money scheme that they keep talking about. He is the last prosecution witness, and it's not clear whether Trump's attorneys will call any witnesses, let alone the Republican presidential nominee himself. Defense lawyers already have questioned Cohen for hours about his criminal history and his lies because he has a revenge campaign at taking down Trump, and he said as such. You grab your boobs a lot when the hubs is driving. He thinks he does it. I think he does that on purpose. You think? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. You know, just give it that nice. The Trump farce trial is a big, expensive joke. Yes, it is. What is that? Convicted liars tells the truth this time. Promise. Yes. Exactly, Jariah. Exactly. After more than 4 weeks of testimony about sex, money, tabloid machinations, and the details of Trump's company record keepings, jurors begin deliberating, well, as soon as the defense rests. And they're given jury instruction. Now, see this right here. I hate the way they word this. What it should say is juries should begin deliberating as soon as this week to decide whether 34 counts of falsifying business records is something that we should be trying. And that's it. That's all they should be deciding on. Did he falsify business records? Did he knowingly, wantonly falsify business records? Or is it a bullshit lie? Now, what will it do if they give him these counts of, if he's found guilty of falsifying business records? Well, what exactly will happen to him? What, you're going to put him in prison? You're going to serve prison time? You're going to fine him some more money? When do they stop going after him? They're mad. He won. He's winning. And they do not like it. They are out to make sure that he gets completely tromped upon. The charges stem from internal Trump organization records where payments to Cohen were marked as legal expenses. Well, yeah. If they were marked as legal expenses, that means he was paying someone legal fees. Now, their prosecutors are saying they're reimbursements for $130,000 to Stormy Daniels. Now, Cohen is the one that said he is the person that sent her the money. Oh, now he says, oh, it was Trump that caused that. And also, he was found not guilty of this already. Trump was already found not guilty of this already. Amazing that they're coming after him again. Trump has pleaded not guilty. His lawyers say there's nothing criminal about the Daniels deal or the way Cohen was paid. Simple as that. The office expects to rest its case once Cohen is off the stand, but prosecutors would have an opportunity to call rebuttal witnesses if Trump lawyers put their own witnesses of their own on. The judge has told lawyers to be prepared for closing arguments as early as Tuesday. Why should the judge be dictating whenever they close their case? Cohen has handwritten records in his own handwriting, and Trump signed one of them is their case. Iran's president, foreign minister. Yes, I already covered this morning. Yeah, I already covered that this morning. Defense attorneys generally are reluctant to put their clients on the witness stand and open them up to intense questioning by prosecutors, as it often does more harm than good. Cohen is prosecutors' most important witness. Well, didn't you say that about Stormy Daniels? Oh, and then she got totally destroyed on the witness stand. Didn't you say that about this Pecker? He got destroyed on the witness stand. So now it's Cohen. He's the most important. Yeah. The now disbarred attorney. Why was he disbarred? Huh? Oh, because he admitted to lying on a witness stand and lying under oath and other falsehoods, many of which he claims were meant to protect Trump. Okay. So he's serving prison time after pleading guilty to federal charges, various federal charges, lying to Congress and a bank, and engaging in campaign finance violations related to this money scheme. But it is not this money scheme. It was his own money scheme that he was doing. It's bullshittery that he was pulling, and now he wants to blame Trump for his idiocy, his stupidity. Cohen told jurors that Trump was intimately involved in the scheme to pay off Daniels to prevent her from going public in 2016. What would it have mattered? What he didn't want is being blackmailed and said, I don't know, just get rid of her. I'm sick of hearing her bullshit. Jenny. With claims of a 2000. See, the worst part is they keep saying, yeah, Trump says nothing sexually happened between them, but this was what it was. Claims of a 2000 sexual encounter. See, there's a reason why they had to get, what was the girl that was bragging about how wonderful it was to get raped? What was her name that sued the president for, I don't know, 400 million or some crap like that for defamation? Who was the cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs lady that sued, and still that's in appeals? There was a plan to work this out. So you get him on this one sexual thing, and then you bring that up in the next case, and you bring this up, and you sort of set this pattern. Yeah, he has a pattern of attacking women, blah 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 blah, which none of this is true. And Stormy Daniels has even said none of this was true, and now all of a sudden it changes. The story changes. What happened? Cohen told jurors about meetings and conversations with Trump, including one in 2017, which Cohen says Trump and the then Trump Organization finance chief Alan Weisselberg, I think that's right, Weisselberg, discussed how Cohen could recoup his outlay for the Daniels payment and how the reimbursement would be billed as legal services. Okay. So if Alan Weisberg discussed how to do this, then why didn't they call Alan Weisselberg? Known for his hot temper, Cohen remained mostly calm on the witness stand despite sometimes heated interrogation by the defense about his own misdeeds and allegations in the case. Why are you saying it like that? Why are you saying remained mostly calm? So apparently there was times that he could not remain calm. And why are they putting it about his own misdeeds and allegations? Why not his illegal activity in this case? The one that got him in trouble in the first place. The crimes that he was prosecuted for. Those aren't allegations. Those are crimes that he was prosecuted for. Why wouldn't they bring that up? The key moment came Thursday when Todd Blanche accused Cohen of lying about the purpose of a phone call to Trump's bodyguard days before Cohen wired Daniels $130,000. Cohen told jurors he talked to Trump on that call about the hush money payment. Well, Blanche confronted Cohen with the text messages to argue that Cohen had actually been talking to Trump's bodyguard about harassing calls from a teenage prankster. That was a lie. You did not talk to President Trump on that night. You can admit it. No, sir, I can't. He believed he also spoke to Trump about the Daniels deal. Trump lawyers have said they may call Bradley A. Smith, a law professor who was appointed by Bill Clinton and to the Federal Election Commission to refute the prosecution's contention that the payments amounted to campaign finance violation. Judge Juan A. Merchan, or whatever, is limited what Smith can address, however, and the defense could decide not to call him after all. There are often guardrails around expert testimony on legal matters on the basis that it's up to a judge, not an expert hired by one side or the other, to instruct jurors on applicable laws in a case. No, but he could testify on what would be proper payments, as according to the law, or what is paid to somebody. Another chippy candidate. Shizzy's using past crimes to convict someone on shaky new evidence. You understand? Here you have some pudding pops. Shizzy, using past crimes to convict someone on shaky new evidence. You understand? Yeah, have some pudding pops. Bill Cosby, probably. Yeah, E. Jean Carroll. There you go. Yeah, she's a interesting one. Mercan ruled that Smith can give federal background on the FEC, the laws it enforces and definitions of such terms as campaign contribution, but he can't interpret how federal campaign laws apply to facts of Trump's case or opine on whether the former president's allegations violates those laws. But this is all the more reason why they should call him in and get the judge to show his ass in front of the jury, to show that they are physically going after him and will tell them, oh, you must disregard. I would call them in a freaking heartbeat just to make them be called out on their chicaneries. Make them be called out. I did get this from I'm not gonna say who I got it from, but I got this from Max, but I'm not gonna show it to you guys because it would give out too much. Location worldwide. Event due to the potential for terrorist attacks, demonstrations, or violent actions against U.S. citizens and interests. The Department of State advises U.S. citizens overseas to exercise increased caution. The Department of State is aware of the increased potential for foreign terrorist organizations inspired violence against the gay peoples and events, and advises U.S. citizens overseas to exercise extreme cautions. U.S. citizens should stay alert in locations frequented by tourists, including pride celebrations and venues frequented by gay peoples. Enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program to receive information and alerts to make it easier to locate you in an emergency overseas. And then it also says, follow the Department of State on Facebook and the Twitters. Yeah, just imagine getting that message in your inbox. Just imagine getting that message in your inbox that you have to stay away from terrorist attacks at gay places. Gay as we mean happy. Like this guy right here. He was happy. Man convicted of attacking ex-Speaker Pelosi's husband with a hammer, sentenced to 30 years in prison. Jurors found him guilty last November. And I'm sure you guys remember this.
Today's sentence reflects David DePop's lack of remorse and contrition for violently assaulting Mr. Pelosi.
Why do you think he did so?
The court's sentence will ensure that DePop will not be able to use violence to pollute the political process. Robust,
But see, they here's the thing. Use it to pollute the political process. But this guy was a far left extremist. He was a leftist. He wasn't on the right. He was on the left. They didn't talk about that. Oh, he was doing a nation a favor. You got an email from Homeland about that yesterday. Yeah, most don't know you can sign up for notifications from Homeland Security. Exactly. He got terrorism charges. What are his politics again? Yeah, exactly. Oh my. Paul is sentenced to remain married to Nancy. Oh, that's so harsh. That's so harsh.
passionate political debate is appropriate and often necessary in our democracy.
We're not a democracy. We're a republic, constitutional republic. And this guy was not there to debate. He was there because Nancy wasn't following through on what he deemed for her to follow through, and he wanted to talk with her. And in the process, he attacked Paul. I think there might have just been some kinky stuff going on.
But today's sentence is a stern reminder that political discourse must never transform into violence.
Absolutely, it should not. Political discourse should never, and there's only one side that usually believes that. Because if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it AOC? Wasn't it Maxine Waters? Wasn't it Nancy Pelosi that were telling people that political discourse you should turn violent with them? But I wonder if it turns violent on them by their own party.
The brutal attack on Paul Pelosi in his home was not only an attack on an individual, but an assault on the very principles and safety and civility that form the bedrock of our democracy.
And I agree. This guy shouldn't have been there. He shouldn't have been attacking him. Left, right, center, doesn't matter. Anyone forgot that he was probably the guy that left the scene after Mr. Pelosi crashed his car the month before? No, but give him 30 years. Oh, yeah, that was Mad Maxine. Oh, no, there's been more than just Mad Maxine. It has been Ilhan Omar. It has been, what do they call themselves? The Squad? Or Squat? If they did some squats, they might not have cankles.
Public servants, and indeed all citizens, deserve to work and live without threats of violence or of intimidation.
Absolutely. I agree with everything that you said right there.
Today's sentencing of David DePop to a significant...
So that's the guy? The guy that was, that attacked him? I don't know. This guy looks too skinny. This must be an older picture, because that guy that attacked him looked like he hadn't missed any meals in a while.
prison term sends a clear message that violence and intimidation have no place in our community.
Yes, you leftists stop violating and intimidating. There's no room for it. 30 years, he won't make it 30 days. He'll be like, no.
Or our political discourse. The pop's attack, fueled by misguided ideology.
But it was the leftist ideology. See, why are they making... See, whenever they're making this a left-right thing, the worst part of it is he is an extreme leftist. He's already said this multiple times. The guy was a leftist. So they're trying to blame this on the right wing of their political spectrum. He's going to call him supremacist, white supremacist, and that these morons right back here, these two little drones sit back there and they're nodding. But they have this guy had the same political ideology as these two ladies right here. He had the same political ideology as Nancy Pelosi. That was where his political alignment was. The people tend to get really pissed off when the government keeps stealing your money, destroying your country, and all of it falling on deaf ears. Yes, but it was not. It was not from that political group.
Underscores the dangers posed by extremist beliefs. The FBI is committed to protecting all citizens and ensuring that our democracy remains strong.
No, we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. Because if we were a democracy, you would see a lot more of these happen. You would see a lot more of these attacks happen. A lot more.
And resilient against those who seek to harm it. We stand by the Pelosi family and all victims of violence. And we will continue to work tirelessly to uphold the values of justice and peace in our society.
I think
Well, that doesn't happen that doesn't happen in a democracy.
I think that's a really long time, because if you think about it, right, he's already nearly 50.
You think that's a long time, huh? Sky? All right, your name is Sky, first of all. Your name is Sky, dude. And it seems like a long time. Well, guess what? He attacked somebody with a hammer. He came into their house, attacked him with a hammer. We all saw what happened. Your old man attacked someone with a hammer. And guess what? You'll be 50 by the time that he's released. Man broke into a house with a hammer. Yes. Broke into a house and attacked a politician. He held him hostage. It's just, dude, 30 years, you think that's harsh? I'm surprised that the Pelosi's didn't give him the death penalty. So, but you know, the worst part is, you probably changed his son's political affiliation pretty quick.
He's basically, it's just a death sentence. Like, if you think about it, it's a death sentence.
We're going to appeal this, okay? The reason why I'm not as sad as I would otherwise be is because I strongly believe that I create my...
Her name is Gypsy Taub. That's the pop's ex-wife. Her name is Gypsy.
My own reality. We do create our own reality. It's just a matter of learning how to be more conscious about it. I believe that there are forces by far greater than court rules. And court rules change all the time. Laws change all the time as well.
She sounded a little foreign to me. I could be wrong, but she sounded like she might have a European accent there. Yep. Suck it up, Buttercup. Drain the swamp. Ban all assault hammers. Yes, Bad Duck. Ban all assault hammers. Drain the swamp, America, or there will be nothing left. Yes. The only problem I have with that long of a sentence, he only got it because he attacked Paul. If he would have attacked a random citizen, he would have gotten probation. Or not anything at all. Put term limits on these Washington thugs. I can't agree more there. Yeah, it's called general population. Yes. Canada. I blame Canada. Which law does she want to change exactly? Breaking and entering, assault? I don't know. I mean, holding someone hostage? Those are all pretty serious crimes. Ah, love it whenever you see these kind of things. So, of course, this guy cannot get out of the news right here. This guy is not able to get out of the news no matter how hard he tries. Nikki Haley faces a murky path forward in a key decision on whether or not to endorse Trump. But see, the thing that these AP fails to understand, Trump doesn't need her endorsement. Having her endorse him would probably be the worst thing for him. I think that would be the lesser of things that he would be worried about. Oh, great. Nikki Haley's endorsing me. Screw her and the ambassadorship that she wrote in here on. Columbia, South Carolina. Nikki Haley is perhaps the highest profile Republican in the nation who refused to fall in line and endorse Trump's presidential bid. And I think it helped him out quite a bit. I mean, she got beat out by the none of the above votes. She got beat out by none of the above. Like, people did not even want to vote for her. Like, we're not voting for Trump, but we're definitely not voting for her. It's unclear how long that might last. Some allies believe she may be forced to endorse him before the November election to avoid permanently alienating the Republican Party base. Some even suspect that Haley will reemerge on Trump's short list of VP contenders in the coming months, despite Trump's recent statement to the contrary. You think? I don't think that's going to happen. Why would he ever bring this scumbag into her? Wait, ambassador? Yes, she was an ambassador. She was an ambassador at one point in time. People tend to forget this, but he made her an ambassador. Exactly. She was Trump's ambassador to the UN. See? Some allies believe that she may be forced, but if Haley submits to Trump, submit, woman, as so many of his GOP critics have done, no, they sucked it. They are in fear of retribution from Trump, where he goes, you know what? I don't need you. I don't need to have anything from you. The only reason that these people are sucking up, and they say GOP, I call them the rhinos. The only reason the rhinos are now sucking up to Trump is because he's made it very clear that he will be the nominee for the Republican Party. The Republican Party is just a vehicle for him to get to his presidency. If he thought that he could do the same running as a libertarian, he would have done it and run as a libertarian. She also risks destroying her own coalition of independents, moderates, and anti-Trump Republicans. So her own coalition of rhinos, she would alienate those. The rhinos would see right through the bullshittery that she is, that she sucks it like everybody else. But it's not about her, remember? Remember these people saying, it's not about me. It's about making sure that Trump doesn't get reelected. Remember this. This is what all of them were jumping up on stage and yelling at the top of their lungs. Every single one of these assholes were jumping up there and screaming at the top of their lungs. Oh, sweet Jazzy here. Jazzy. I feel for you. Can't wait until this damn election is over with. Oh, it'll never be over. Because here's the thing. If Biden wins, you're going to have all of the Trump people yelling and screaming how unfair it was that Trump was elected, or was not elected, how all kinds of horrible things, the end of the world is coming because Joe Biden made presidency. If Trump wins, you're going to have all of the other sides screaming horrible, horrible things, how it was stolen, how Russia backed him, or Ukraine, or some other, group, the Israelis, or some other organization backed Trump, and that's how he won. And they'll be crying foul, and they'll be doing it for 4 years, and they'll take him into court cases, and they'll basically try to hobble him from doing anything. There will be insiders that come out and sell books and all these other kinds of things, no matter what side wins. You aren't making my head feel any better. Sorry, Jazzy, but it's not going to end. It's going to go on for 4 years after. And those 4 years after, they will be deciding, who the next Republican nominee will be. They'll be calling, it was no different than they did with Reagan, Reaganomics, all that kind of crap. Everybody's going to want to align with the winner or be associated with the loser. It's hilarious. Politics are hilarious. Who am I voting for? I will vote for the candidate that I believe will be able to do it. Do the job. So far, Joe Biden hasn't proven that he can do any good. I'm impressed with what Trump was able to get done. But do I think he's the most viable candidate? I think he's bombastic, but damn. So far, he's got my vote. Unfortunately, campaign season never ends. They will just be gearing up for 2026 midterms. Yes, so you'll have another 2 years before the midterms. So in other words, it's all going to suck either way. Yes, that's why you shouldn't stress over it. You really shouldn't stress over it. You shouldn't get so worked up over all of these people at any point in time. You should fight for what's right. No matter whether it's on the left or the right, fight for what's right. Fight for what you believe in, and be willing to accept change in yourself as far as your beliefs go. It's going to suck either which way. And I think some of the best advice that someone else gave one of my wife's friends is, if you're paying too close attention to it and it's absorbing every moment of every day, you're concerned about every single bit of how these things are turning out. If you're so deeply embedded in it, change the station, turn it off, limit what your intake is on it, especially if it's giving you anxiety. And it helped her out quite a bit. Because she was very much into the politics of things, and she was to the point where she would stand up on a table screaming at the top of her lungs, "Why doesn't anybody listen to me?" Yeah, because everybody knows, they already have heard it. They don't care. They want a little bit of peace and quiet. We came to sit down and have dinner. You don't have to tell me your politics while we're sitting down having dinner. You're not convincing anybody. Yeah, she got very, very anxious about it. She wanted to start taking anti-anxiety medications because she was so anxious. And her therapist was the one that told her, limit the news that you're getting, limit the news that you're receiving, because clearly you wake up in the morning and you're following, and this was during Clinton, Hillary, and Trump, the 2 years leading up to that. Because she was all about Hillary, and she couldn't understand why people didn't understand. Like, they need to understand that, how horrible this guy is, how white supremacist and racist and all this kind of crap was. And she got herself worked up in a tizzy anytime she started talking about it. You know how much I pay attention to what's going on with Trump outside of, them bringing Trump up every 5 minutes on the AP? I don't. It doesn't matter to me. I don't pay any attention to it. I mean, I'm interested in the trials, and I would love to see the transcripts come through. I haven't seen any of those, but I'd love to see the transcripts of these cases. But I don't follow politics outside of that because I don't care. I already know who I'm going to vote for. They've already shown their hand. I know the state of the economy. It's very clear. I know where those problems come from. For me, reporting on the news, it's just one of those that I talk about because I think that it's important for other people to know. But whenever I shut down my computer, you know what I'm concerned with? I'm concerned with a pro se litigant that I have to respond to today. I'm concerned with this other entity that I have to respond to. Politics, they don't affect me one way or the other in this. Like, I don't get worked up over it. Maybe that's why I'm so calm with it. I have heard Americans claim how terrible everything is for a decade or two, yet America is still around. Most people's lives are still good. Maybe everything ain't so bad. Exactly, Mass. Exactly. We just, yeah. Oh, I'm with you on that. Tired of it. They act like babies, and both sides do. Politics is nothing but grandstanding. It doesn't affect your daily lives, and most people are not that polarizing. Ballstorm hits it right on the head every damn time. That is exactly it. I mean, tell me, how has it affected you, one president or the other? I mean, think about it really hard. How has it affected you personally, whether who was president? We know that Biden has done his shitty job as president, and he's basically a potato. But it wasn't him that caused that. It's the people that he has hired around him that cause all of your angst and anguish. Those are the ones that are writing the laws. Those are the ones that are passing laws. Those are the ones that are giving him the paper to sign. They're bringing these things forward in front of him, and he signs off on it. Those are the people that are affecting you. Him personally didn't affect you. He just happens to be the one that should be taking the blame for it. But personally, he hasn't done anything to harm you one way or the other. It affects your life when they enact stupid laws and taxes. Exactly. Those are the ones that you should be rallying to have removed or put in place. If you want the government to take control of you and your thoughts and your process, then vote. Vote for the person that you think is going to do it against your neighbor even more than you. That's, I guess, the best way to put it. Her decision in the coming months will closely be watched, not just by her supporters, but allies of Trump and Joe Biden. What she decides to do and whether her coalition follows could have a profound impact on this year's general election and her future as top tier. She was never top tier. She was never top tier. You know, Biden's face affects my life. That's true. Hold them all accountable. Yes. Nikki Haley could be the person that unites us. A 62-year-old retail manager from Nashua, New Hampshire, who was a lifelong Democrat before casting a ballot for Haley in her state's January primary. So you basically voted Democrat again. I mean, just because she had an R in front of her name doesn't mean she was Republican. But Flores also has a warning. Nikki Haley has a good place with me now, but if she goes with Trump, I'm done. See, like I said, it ain't going to harm Trump whatsoever. It's all about Nikki Haley. The close to Haley 52-year-old former governor and UN ambassador say it's unclear what she'll do. Those close to Haley have no idea what she'll do. Let's see what the polls say. Haley voters are up for grabs, but only Biden trying. Haley and Trump haven't spoken in months. Why would he have to? That includes the period after she bowed out of No, she had no choice. It was made very clear she was not going to get the nomination. it was made very clear, I'm sure, by the all the PACs that they were just like, yeah, we're not going to be pointing people towards you. The Republican RNC, I am sure, was just like, we're done with you, Nikki. Listen, DeSantis was doing better than you, and he had common sense to say, yeah, I'm out. I'm done. It was a good money-raising thing, but get out while you can. According to a person with direct knowledge of Haley's private conversations who was not authorized to speak about them publicly, and while some Republicans who supported Haley will certainly drift back to Trump organically, no, because they're shitbags, the Biden campaign will work to win over her supporters, whom they view as true swing voters. No, they were never swing voters. Those people that were voting for Nikki were always going to be voting for the rhinos. The Republicans in name only. Haley actually said she knows about racism because she lost a beauty contest as a young girl. Yeah. Biden's team is quietly organizing a Republicans for Biden group. Oh, so basically you're organizing a bunch of rhinos, which will eventually include dedicated staff and focus on the hundreds of thousands of Haley voters in each battleground state. Only in the battleground states, because not in every other state. According with people familiar with the plans, but not authorized to discuss them publicly. Okay. The Democrat president hasn't kept his intentions a secret. Biden issued a statement thanking Haley for her courage to challenge Trump just minutes after she bowed out of the primary race in March. Donald Trump made it clear he doesn't want Nikki Haley supporters. I want to be clear, this is a place for them there's a place for them in my campaign. No, Donald Trump never said that. What he said is he doesn't want rhinos. He doesn't want the Democrats that switched over to being Republican and then switched back. He doesn't want the wishy-washy people. He wants true supporters. True supporters, or, even if he loses, he would much rather have supporters that were supporters of him through thick and through thin. It's like your favorite baseball team. Do you like your baseball team? You only like your baseball team whenever they're doing well, or do you like your baseball team all the time? Football, whatever it is, your sports ball team. You like them all the time. You're not a fair weather supporter. If you're a fair weather supporter, well then, go F off. Trump, meanwhile, said in late January what Haley donors would be permanently banned from his camp. While he has refrained from attacking her since she left the race, Trump hasn't offered public statements of goodwill either, as he has for other rivals like Ron DeSantis. I'm wondering, when did he say this? Because so far I haven't seen him say this at all. Now, just because the AP said it doesn't mean it's true, as we've pulled their fact checking before. Usually their fact checkers are completely freaking wrong. So I haven't seen that he's said that they would be permanently banned. But it looks like he said Haley donors, which would be different than her supporters or people that were voting for her. As part of Biden's sustained outreach to Haley's coalition, his campaign released a digital ad late last month highlighting Trump's often personal attacks against Haley. What does that have to do with, so you're just trying to court her people? Stone Cold would drink a beer with Trump. Yeah. The mythical independent vote. Never seen it in all my life. Yeah. Haley said she knows about racism. Yes. Included his nickname of her as Bird Brain suggests she's not presidential timber. True. She is a bird brain, and she doesn't have what it takes to become president. And it became very obvious during the debates. Asked about Trump's lack of outreach to Haley and her supporters, senior advisor Jason Miller avoided any mention of her, instead cast doubt on the strength of Biden's coalition of Black Americans, Latinos, and young voters. And you notice that that Biden doesn't call them Latinx anymore. He sort of refrained from calling them Latinx. Why would they have stopped doing this? Why would Biden stop referring to them as Latinx or whatever the hell name that they currently had for degendering the Latin community? It's amazing that their voice has changed on that. Same way that they've removed calling illegal aliens. Now they call them migrant workers that are here without papers. They've changed the names. Remember Trump? Yes, absolutely. Remember, Trump was a Democrat before he was a Republican. Well, no, you think, Mass? Yes, I do remember that Trump was a Democrat before he was a Republican. And because Hispanics hate the term, yes. I'm riding Mo in the deep end. Yes, riding in Mo in the deep end for president. That is the way to do it right there. The reality is the Republican Party is united behind Trump, while the Democrat Party has shattered to pieces because of Joe Biden's disastrous policies on issues like inflation, the border, wars, medical, what is it? Drugs? I'm trying to think of the proper term for that. The insulin that he got rid of, where they were going to do a lot for, the diabetic community. But oh no. And then, of course, after he saw how fast that got, he got completely destroyed on that, he changed policy and wrote back in the same policy that he eliminated whenever Trump was president. It's really weird how Biden did that. Like, maybe it was a good idea. That's what I said before, is if you have a good idea, keep the good ideas, get rid of the bad. But, oh no, it wasn't about that. It was about, like Ballstorm said, grandstanding. The reality is the Republican Party is united behind President Trump while the Democrat Party is shattered to pieces. Few expect Haley to endorse the Democrat president outright. Such a decision would make it difficult, if not impossible, for her to ever win a GOP presidential primary if she decides to run again, unless she wants to run as a Democrat. Now, if you want to run as a Democrat, then go for it. Instead, Biden's allies are hopeful that Haley, among other high-profile Republican Trump critics, may either stay silent or offer an endorsement focusing on the stakes of the election for democracy rather than praise for Biden. Oh, no. No. That is a lie. That is an absolute lie. I will tell you right now, that is a bullshit lie. Let me read it again. Just be sure. Instead, Biden's allies, are hopeful that Haley doesn't give direct praise for Biden. So they're hopeful that she doesn't give praise to Biden, because if she gives praise to Biden, that right there destroys Biden. I read that wrong. I thought they were saying that Trump's allies are hopeful that Haley doesn't give direct praise to Biden. No, right here, this is what they are fearing. Let's see, I misread that. So that is pretty true. That's 100% true. The Biden allies are hopeful that Haley shuts the hell up and does not give direct praise. And if and when Biden team does secure these high-profile Republican supporters, it's likely to wait several more weeks to unveil them to help maximize their impact when voters are paying close attention to the November election. A pro-Biden Republican speaks. Well, then you're not a Republican. You're a rhino. Jeff Duncan, a Republican who backed Haley in the GOP primary, formally endorsed Biden earlier this month, so he switched parties. Just saying. Duncan didn't rule out playing a prominent role in the Republicans for Biden group or even speaking at the Democrat National Convention this summer, just as former Ohio John Kasich did 4 years ago. Duncan hopes Haley doesn't ultimately endorse Trump. Why not? Please don't endorse him. Endorse Trump. Don't endorse Trump. You know, it only matters to her. I fart in your general direction. I'd also apologize. I feel like that would be short-term sugar high just to gain favor inside the Republican Party. Nobody cares. Haley has ruined any chances. Oh, you're hopeful she'll run again in 2028? Yeah, she's going to run as a Democrat if she runs. I don't see her running as a Republican because it would really disappoint me if she doesn't stand up to him, because that would really do her in. Yeah, you guys have no idea. Divas match. Yeah, that would be hilarious. Having a match of the divas as they roll about their day. Speaking of a match of divas. Oh, let's see. Let's see if we can bring this thing up for you guys, because it is that time. It is that time. We need an electronic, and we'll just show you guys what I'm putting in here. This is going to be fun. An electronic EDM song about well, let's get it right here. We'll have to do this properly. EDM song. What the hell? Why is it doing that? Oh, okay. EDM song about Donald Trump and Joe Biden having an old people fight. There we go. Let's see what happens. I love it. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Jack. Hey, I have a story. Hey, everybody. We are creating a song. It's called Brawling Grandpas. I love it. Let's see what we've got here. Make sure my sound is turned on here. Nope, I had it turned off. Give me a second. It's called Brawling Grandpas. I love it. Let's give it a good one.
Two old grandpas ready to fight. Trump and Biden, it's quite a sight. They're throwing jabs like they're in their prime, but it's a battle of the old. No one's wasting time. Trump shouts words, his tweets on repeat. Biden fires back with a smile so sweet. They're slinging insults, his ears in their way, but their punches are slow. They've lost their grip. Rolling grandpas in the political ring. Their feuds and tantrums, they make our ears ring. But we're the ones left to clean up the mess. These old folks should retire. They've caused enough stress.
Two old grandpas ready to fight. Trump and Biden, it's quite a sight. They're throwing jabs like they're in their prime, but it's a battle of the old. No one's wasting time. Trump shouts words, his tweets on repeat. Biden fires back with a smile so sweet. They're slinging
Yeah, they ain't working. They ain't working for me. Neither one of these.
Brawling grandpas in the political ring. The feuds and tantrums, they make others ring. But we're the ones left to clean up the mess. These old folks should retire, they cause enough stress.
That's horrible. All right, so I like the words. The words are pretty good. Electronic and heavy metal, EDM. Electronic and heavy metal, EDM. And we're gonna have heavy bass and drums. There we go. Heavy bass and drums. And we're gonna call this Brawling Grandpa. Yeah, we'll leave it the name the same. That's pretty funny. Trump has been wrestling ring for a match signing. Yeah, he has. What does that say? If Trump chooses black woman VP, the left will spontaneously combust. Well, that's how it goes. You got to have a little bit of spontaneous combustion. What do we have here? Looks like we've got a new one. Electronic and heavy metal, EDM, heavy bass and drums. Let's see what we've got.
Two old grandpas, ready to fight, talking about it, it's quite a sight. Throwing jabs like they're in their prime, but it's a battle, the old goes wasting time. Trump stops words, his tweets on repeat. Body bodies, but the slack with a smile so sweet. They're slaying insults, using their wit, but their punches are slow, oh, they've lost their grits. Brawling. Two old grandpas, ready to fight. Trump and Biden, it's quieter. Throwing jabs like they're in their prime, but it's a battle of the old. No one's wasting time.
We're booking wrestling matches instead of elections. Too fast?
Trump shouts words, his tweets on
Okay.
repeat. Biden fires back with a smile so sweet. They're slinging insults, using their wit, but their punches are slow. Oh, they've lost their grit. Brawling grandpas in the political ring. Their feuds and tantrums, they make our
Squid thinks it's too fast. Yeah, that one's so far the best. All right, let's see the next one.
Two grandpas ready to fight. Trump and Biden, it's quite a sight. Throwing jobs like they're in prime, but it's a battle of the old. No one's wasting time.
Eh.
Two grandpas ready to fight. Trump and Biden, it's quite a sight. They're throwing jabs like they're in their prime.
Last one was better. I agree. Last one was better. Yeah, I like this one.
Ready to fight. Trump and Biden, it's quieter. Throwing jabs like they're in their prime, but it's a battle of the old. No one's wasting time. No one's wasting time. Trump shouts words, his tweets on repeat. Biden fires back with a smile so sweet. They're slinging insults, using their wit.
This one?
But their punches are slow. Oh, they've lost
this one. I think that's too fast. All right, let's see what we've got. We've got this one right here, which is the extended version from part 2. Yeah, I thought so too.
Trump shouts words, his tweets on repeat. Biden fires back with a smile so sweet. They're slinging insults, using their wit, but their punches are slow. Oh, they've lost their grit. Rolling, rolling, grandpa. Two old grandpas ready to fight. Trump and Biden, it's quite a sight. They're throwing jabs like they're in their prime. But it's a battle of the old, no one's wasting time.
See how it
No one's
goes.
wasting time. Trump shouts words, his tweets on repeat. Biden fires back with a smile so sweet. They're slinging insults,
no, 2 or 3.
using
Exactly.
their wit,
Yep.
but their punches are slow. Oh, they've lost their grit. Oh, rolling, crawling grandpas in the political ring. Their feuds and tantrums, they make.
All right, here's ring. Oh my god. Oh, we gotta extend it. Damn it. I like this one better. So we'll extend that one out and then see what happens after it extends it out. So extend it out from 1 minute and we'll hit extend. So we get part 3. Let's see what happens. Part 3. Maybe this one.
Two old grandpas ready to fight. Trump and Biden, it's quite a sight. Throwing jabs like they're in their prime. But it's a battle of the old, no one's wasting time. Trump shouts words, his tweets on repeat. Biden fires back with a smile so sweet. They're slinging insults, using their wit, but their punches are slow. Oh, they've lost their grit.
Yeah.
Two old grandpas ready to fight.
I like that one.
Trump and Biden, it's quite a sight. They're throwing jabs like they're in their prime. But it's a battle of the old, no one's wasting time.
Yeah, too much interference with the first one.
No one's wasting time.
I love it.
Trump shouts words.
All right, here's the old
Two
song.
old grandpas ready to fight. Trump and Biden, it's quieter. Throwing jabs like they're in their prime. But it's a battle of the old.
Yeah, same here. I'm with you on that.
No one's wasting time. Trump shouts words, his tweets on repeat. Biden fires back with a smile so sweet. They're slinging insults, using their wit, but their punches are slow. Oh, they've lost their grit.
right, we're downloading that one.
Two old grandpas ready to fight. Trump and Biden, it's quite a sight. Throwing jabs like they're in their prime. But it's a battle of the old, no one's wasting time.
Yeah, this is sell the pay-per-view. I agree.
No one's wasting time. Trump shouts words, his tweets on repeat. Biden fires back with a smile so sweet. They're slinging insults,
I agree.
using their wit, but their punches are slow. Oh, they've lost their grit. Oh, rolling, crawling grandpas in the political ring. Their feuds and tantrums they make. Old grandpas ready to fight. Trump and Biden, it's quite a sight. Throwing jabs like they're in their prime. But it's a battle of the old, no one's wasting time. No one's wasting time. Shouts words, his tweets on repeat. Biden fires back with a smile so sweet. They're slinging insults, using their wit, but their punches are slow. Oh.
There we go. Oh, I'll upload that one later on today. That's hilarious. I love it. I get a kick out of it. I'm so glad that you guys could join me for these, for my shenanigans and my, what the hell? Is there new news on this? I just saw something that came popping up on my stream. What is going on with this? Huh. The AI powered startup. Okay. I gotta see what the hell this is supposed to be. Oh, okay. Now, oh, never mind. That's just an ad. We're not gonna look at that. It was giving me some sort of ad. I was like, what the hell? Let's see. What do we have going on in the world today? Besides, we know that the Iranian president, foreign minister, and others were found dead at a helicopter crash site. Let's see. The Hindu nationalist political face test of India. Dominican Republican President Luis Abner heads to re-election as competitors concede early. Water cannons used to disperse anti-government protesters in Tel Aviv. Huh. Let's see what that's all about. Because this looks really interesting. Sorry. I used to like old school wrestling before WWE. Yeah, the old stuff was fun. Oh, thank you. No, that's what I try to do, is give you guys a little bit of laughter. But this is funny right here. Yeah, this is funny because these people came to protest in Tel Aviv and they said, you know what? Water cannons for all of you. Run, 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 get away. Go away. Yes. That's all they got? I mean, come on. You guys could do better than that. What that? I don't know much UFC outside of the Rowdy one and Brock Lesnar. I mean, whenever you talk about the Rowdy one, there's only one way to have the Rowdy one. And I've showed it before. I've showed the Rowdy one before, and let's see if I can find it here, because there's only one. Where is it? I'm trying to see if I've got it. You know what? I don't even have it on this one. Well, it happens. It happens. Something like this, Yeah, there you go, ladies. You know it. You know it's true. There's your rowdy one. Oh, awesome. Yes. That's the rowdy one. That kid's gonna I hope that he does well in his older age, because I mean that thing is probably at least 10 years old. If that kid was 10 years old at the time, holy cow, this is new to me. I didn't see this one before. After the only hospital in town closed in North Carolina City directs its penance for missing most of the show, Busy Monday. Well, what'd you like to hear, Zach? What would you like to hear? Penance for missing most of the show, Busy Monday? I mean, those sound like song lyrics to me. That's what that sounds like. We need to get those happening. For $1.99, we are going to make that happen. We're gonna make that into a song. Busy Monday. Busy Monday. Let's do this, and we're gonna go pull those particular lyrics up are going to be perfect copy. Yes. Unalived. Yes. So after the only hospital in town, we'll get to you. You just tell me the style of music that you want, Zach, and we'll put that one up there for you. North Carolina City directs its ire at politicians. Weeds have punctured through the vacant parking lot of Martin General Hospital emergency room. A makeshift blue tarp covering the hospital sign is worn down from flapping in the wind. The hospital doors are locked. Many in this county of 2,200 fear permanently. Some residents worry the hospital's sudden closure last August could cost them their life. I know we all have to die, but it seems like since the hospital closed, there's a lot more people dying. Lifelong resident of Williamston, North Carolina, said in a recent afternoon while preparing snacks for children in a nearby elementary school kitchen. More than 100 hospitals have downsized their services or closed altogether over the past decade in rural communities like Williamston, where people openly wonder if they'd survive the 25-minute ambulance ride to the nearest hospital if they were in serious car crash. What do you got? Unalived, Penance Monday incoming. Perhaps inadvertently good lyrics. Death metal country. Okay, we got that. Let's get this thing fired up, and we're gonna go to let's see, we've got death metal country. Death metal country song. There we go. About penance for missing most of the show on Busy Monday. Missing most of Shizzy's morning show. How's that? Shizzy's morning show on a busy Monday morning. There we go. There we go. So you guys get to see it. Death metal country. Create. Boom. And we'll see what comes out of it. And while that's working, little I bet you know how to get out of an arm lock. There you go. Well, thanks, Zach. I appreciate the super chat. That's very kind of you, man. I really do appreciate it. Penance for missing most of the show. Busy Monday. We have lyrics that are coming up here. It says penance for a bloody Monday.
This is a show
A busy Monday, feel the wrath. Pain coming my way, regrets my friend, sorrow's my home. I'm gonna pay the price for being alone. Got no excuse, no time to explain. Shame burns deep, flowing through my veins. I'll make amends, gonna make it right. Facing the punishment till morning light. The stage is set, darkness descending. Blood on my hands.
Jeez.
This nightmare unending. Shizzy's voice echoes haunting my mind. Seeking redemption for the time left behind.
Wow, that one's pretty cool. Let's see what the next one sounds like.
This is a show, a busy Monday. Feel the wrath, pain coming my way. Regrets, my friend. Sorrow's my home, gonna pay the price for being alone. Got no excuse, no time to explain. Shame burns deep, flowing through my veins. I'll make amends, gonna make it right. Facing the punishment till morning light. The stage is set, darkness descending. Blood on my hands, this night never ending. Shizzy's voice echoes haunting my mind. Seek the redemption.
I like the first one better.
For the time left behind. For the time left behind.
Yeah, I like the first one much better. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah, the first one's much better.
Stage is set, darkness descending. Blood on my hands, this night never ending. Shizzy's voice echoes haunting my mind. Seek the redemption for the time left behind. For the time left behind.
Yeah, I agree. First one was much better. So we got the first one. We'll download that one because that was a solid, minute and a half song. Like perfect timing on it. I love it. It was excellent. Yeah, we're gonna move that one in there and let me get that all set up for it because what we're gonna do is we're gonna be redirecting everybody here as soon as we possibly can. Oh man. Terry, blah 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 blah. Bigger. My gosh, there is lots of stuff to see. I don't see where is. No, I know that Mo has to be streaming today. She should be streaming today. Let me see. I'll have to find out first. I'm not seeing her. I'm not seeing anything. Where's Mo in the deep end? She might be really busy this morning. Let's find out what's going on with Mo in the deep end. Mo in the deep end. Yeah, she's supposed to be. Why is it not showing up for me? That is so weird. I'm gonna be sending all you fine folks over to check out Mo. Give me a second. And that one there. Save that. That's perfect. She's not streaming till 10 a.m. your time here in California. No, it's showing that she's going to start streaming at 9 a.m. here. on May 20th, which is today. So she's got it scheduled in 7 minutes. She will be firing it up. Yeah. She's scheduled to be on in 10 minutes. Absolutely. It's really weird that it's showing funky stuff, but don't worry. I'll be sending you guys over. I just want to cover this one last story right here. Over the past decade in rural communities like Williamston, where people openly wonder if they'll survive the 20-minute ambulance drive when Quorum Health shut down the Martin County's 43-bed hospital, citing financial challenges related to declining population and utilization trends, residents here didn't just lose a sense of security, they lost trust too in the leaders they elected to make their town a better place to live. Well, that's where your problem failed. See, it would have been much better if you would have had a local doctor handling you for quite a bit of time for those personal things, and being able to set bones or things of that sort. But instead, you pushed those doctors out. You made them have to join one of these conglomerate of healthcare services that basically screwed you over. And the money they're not making anymore off the pandemic is going to be a pain in the butt. Like 73-year-old Bobby Woolard says, they don't believe any politicians, from the local county commissioners to the presidential candidates who will pass through this swing state with big campaign promises in the coming months, care enough to help them fix the problem. Well, it's not their job to come fix that problem. If you don't like your health care, which sounds to me like you don't, then maybe choose a different healthcare provider. Oh, that's right. You can't do that anymore because we had a president eliminated having that choice. If you're critically ill, there's no help for you here, Woolard said on a sunny April afternoon while trimming his neighbor's hedges. Nobody seems to care. You got a building sitting there empty and nobody seems to care. Well, that's because they're not getting paid and you're not going to pay them. Aw, not going to have any monies. Aw, shame. Trouble for Biden's healthcare campaign. Well, the sentiment is sharply polarized and segregate. I did not realize that North Carolina was segregated. I thought segregation was gone. Could hint at trouble for President Biden, who has made healthcare a key part of his re-election campaign against Trump. His TV campaign ads hone in on Trump's promises to diminish the Affordable Care Act. Well, that's where your problem started in the damn first place, you fools. On social media, Biden regularly reminds followers of the law he signed that caps the cost of insulin. No, that he got rid of the one in the first place that Trump had, and saw how bad it destroyed so many people, how it screwed a lot of people over, and you caved in to exactly what Trump did. You said, oh, maybe I should do the same thing. And it was them wanting to expand Medicaid, which will extend nearly free government health insurance only to thousands. Now think about this. It will extend the nearly free government health insurance to thousands of people. Only thousands. Out of millions of people, only to thousands. How many millions of people are in New York? Just the city itself. Now think about the state. What is the population of our country? And you're only going to extend it to thousands? Sounds like a pretty shitty deal to me. Pay billions of dollars to extend it to thousands. They're competing for the state, North Carolina, which also features the most prominent governor's race of the year, Martin County, where Williamson is located. They voted for Trump in 2020. Healthcare is on the ballot this year. No, it's not. And voters will remember that when they reject Donald Trump in November. Okay. I'm sure they will. Biden's achievements might not be enough for crucial voters living in towns like this one, North Carolina, where people have a hard time just getting emergency care when they need it. Nationally, emergency room wait times have ballooned. Well, why would they balloon? I thought crime was down. Oh, that's right. Those states are not talking about the crime. They don't talk about the crime. They don't mention the crime. They don't say anything about it. Crime is down 11%, but that's only in the rest of the countries outside of Los Angeles, New York City, Miami are not reporting. Those are 3 major cities that are not reporting their crimes to statistics. So you never see how bad the crime is. And if it's only decreased after removing those from the pool, that it's decreased, that tells you that it has gotten much, much worse. Often it's emergency room care that residents miss the most. If you're having a heart attack, if you're having a stroke, if you're giving birth, all those are kinds of life events where you need access to emergency care quickly and properly. No, well, giving birth, but it doesn't matter to the Democrats because they would be happy just ripping that child out of you and tossing it into the trash. The county's volunteer first responder system was ineffective in long response times that stretched past 15 minutes in some areas, were putting lives at risk in the system. The hell? Boom. Oh, that's why. Where did it go? All right, close that. Woo! Mo's getting ready to start up here. She's actually firing it up, and I am going to laugh and cry at all of this bull shenanigans because these places being closed just goes to show that they can't afford to pay their people. Cena's shooting was minutes away from Martin's General Hospital site. Yeah. More than a dozen Williamston residents interviewed for the story blamed the Martin County Board of Commissioners failing to prevent. Go figure. Verna Perry told commissioners that her sister made a 25-minute drive to the closest hospital to find out that she would not be able to get the treatment she needed there. Do you really care? If you cared, you would do something to get us a hospital here. Well, there's your commissioners right there. There's the people in charge of your place. They do not care. Roanoke River Orthopedics. Even still, she said, I do not think top priority for any of them at all, presidents, senators, or any of them, because it is not their job. They don't throw the babies in the trash. They sell them as used parts. Damn it. See, I should remember these kinds of things. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me on this wonderful day. I'm going to kick you all over to Mo. Make sure you give her a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up whenever you leave, if you haven't done so already. And, you know, if you didn't like it, then give it a thumbs down. I mean, whichever way, it's still fun to watch those thumbs go up and down, and likes and dislikes. It doesn't matter. We have fun. We have fun here. I thank you all for coming by. Join me again tomorrow morning. Most likely I will be doing a show tonight, so if you get a chance, come by tonight and see what's going on. Probably more what the hell's, because there's been some new information come out. Ooh, gotta love it. So no, we'll be doing some more what the hell's, covering the Florida Man edition of what's going on there, and see if we can get you guys up to date on some of the newer stuff. And we will see you later. Peace, y'all.
Now I gotta call somebody to come get me because my car turned into a spaceship and I don't know how to fly it. I'm not an astronaut.